You were not born to live in shadows. You were not born to crawl through life, waiting for permission, apologizing for your own existence. You were born with the power to think, to imagine, to desire, and to act. And in that power lies the secret of every great fortune, every great empire, every great transformation the world has ever seen. The formula for greatness is not hidden in some secret vault. It is not reserved for the chosen few. It is written in the laws of life itself. Think rich. Act bold. Live free. 3 commands. 3 truths. 3 steps that have lifted ordinary men and women from poverty, despair, and failure to power, wealth, and influence. To think rich is not about money first. It is about wealth of thought. A man who thinks in poverty, who feeds on doubt, who rehearses his fears every day, cannot rise beyond his chains. But the man who dares to think in terms of abundance, in terms of possibilities, in terms of greatness, has already broken the invisible prison. Andrew Carnegie once said that a man who cannot imagine riches in his mind will never hold them in his hands. He understood a truth few dare to grasp. The world is shaped not by those who react to it, but by those who imagine something greater and insist upon it. To think rich means to plant your mind with vision so compelling, so alive, that reality has no choice but to yield. It means when others see obstacles, you see opportunity. When others surrender to despair, you summon belief. When others stop at the edge of fear, you march forward with faith. But thought alone is not enough. The world does not reward silent dreamers. It rewards bold actors. To act bold is to stake your claim, to move when others wait, to speak when others stay silent, to dare when others doubt. Henry Ford was ridiculed by engineers, mocked by experts, dismissed as a fool. When he demanded a V8 engine cast in a single block, they told him it was impossible. But he demanded it anyway. He acted bold when every voice told him to surrender. And because he refused to retreat, the world drives automobiles to this very day with the mark of his desire. The timid man waits for certainty. The bold man creates it. The timid man hesitates at the first sign of resistance. The bold man leans into resistance and bends it. The timid man dies with regrets. The bold man lives free. To live free is not merely to escape chains of iron. It is to escape the chains of fear, the chains of doubt, the chains of what will they think of me. It is to stand before life unafraid, knowing that your destiny is carved by your own hand. Abraham Lincoln lived free, though his life was marked with hardship. He rose from a log cabin, self-educated, mocked for his plain ways, and yet carried within him a desire that refused to be extinguished. He thought rich in vision, acted bold against all odds, and in the end freed a nation from its own slavery. The formula for greatness is eternal, because it is rooted in the laws of human potential. Thought is the seed. Action is the growth. Freedom is the fruit. Ask yourself now, are you thinking rich or are you thinking small? Are you acting bold or are you hesitating at the edge of fear? Are you living free or are you chained by the expectations of others? The path of greatness begins with one decision, the decision to burn every bridge of doubt, to silence every voice of fear, and to demand from life what you know is yours. Because life will never hand you freedom, wealth, or greatness on a silver plate. It will test you. It will resist you. It will dare you to quit. And in those moments, when the fire of desire meets the storm of resistance, you must remember the formula: think rich, act bold, live free. Greatness has never been reserved for those who play it safe. It belongs to those who dare to believe in something so outrageous, so extraordinary, that the rest of the world laughs, until the laughter turns into applause. Every man who has shaped the course of history was once called a dreamer. Edison, who filled the darkness with light, was called a fool for believing he could bottle the power of fire inside a bulb. The Wright brothers, 2 bicycle mechanics from Ohio, were mocked for thinking men could fly. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination, the very man who would later build a kingdom of imagination so vast that millions still walk through its gates in wonder. What separated these men from the countless others who doubted them? Desire. faith, boldness, persistence. They thought rich when the world thought poor. They acted bold when others shrank back. And because of this, they lived free of limitations. The mind is the greatest workshop in existence. Within it, empires are born and revolutions ignite. But a mind without direction is like a wild horse, powerful yet untamed. Discipline is the hand that takes the reins. Purpose is the map. Desire is the fuel. If you would live free, you must first master your mind. Guard it as you would guard a vault of treasure, for in truth, it is more valuable than gold. Fill it with images of victory, with words of power, with faith that refuses to bend. Do not permit the poison of doubt, the infection of fear, or the whispers of mediocrity to take root. You are what you feed your mind. Feed it weakness, and it will grow weak. Feed it greatness, and it will rise to heights you cannot yet imagine. But thinking rich is not the end, it is the beginning. Thought is a seed, but a seed that is never planted, never watered, never nurtured, will never rise into a tree. Action is the planting. Action is the watering. Action is the proof that you believe. The world does not reward the man who says, "I will someday." It rewards the man who says, "I will now." The bold do not wait for perfect timing, for there is no perfect time. The bold create the time, and in so doing, they create history. Every empire, every invention, every fortune was once a decision, a bold decision acted upon with faith. When Carnegie, the steel magnate, was asked how he built his empire, he did not speak of luck. He spoke of vision, of organization, of persistence. But above all, he spoke of desire so strong that no setback could extinguish it. You must understand this. Mediocrity is the default. The world will gladly let you live a small life, confined by fear, distracted by comfort, sedated by entertainment. But greatness requires rebellion. It requires you to look at what the masses accept and declare, "This will not be my destiny." It requires courage to step off the path of the ordinary and carve a road that has never been walked before. And yes, you will stumble. You will fall. You will taste the bitterness of defeat. But if your desire is strong enough, each fall will only sharpen your edge, each setback will only deepen your strength, each rejection will only harden your resolve. This is the paradox of greatness. It is forged not in victory, but in struggle. It is polished not by ease, but by hardship. It is proven not by applause, but by resistance. To think rich, act bold, and live free is to enter into a covenant with life itself, a covenant that says, "Test me, challenge me, break me if you can, for I will rise again, stronger, sharper, bolder." You must become unshakable. You must become unstoppable. You must become unreasonable in your belief that what you desire is already yours, if only you refuse to quit. The man who quits cannot win. The man who wins never quits. So build in your mind the vision of freedom. See yourself already living the life you desire. Feel it, breathe it, walk in it as if it were already true. And then act boldly, daily, relentlessly, until the distance between vision and reality disappears. Do not wait for the approval of others. Do not wait for the applause of the crowd. Do not wait for the stars to align. The formula for greatness demands only that you begin, that you persist, and that you never surrender. Because the moment you think rich, act bold, and demand freedom, life itself begins to move in your favor. Clarity is power. Without it, even the strongest desire becomes scattered, like sunlight diffused through a fog. But when you sharpen your clarity, that same energy becomes a laser, capable of cutting through steel. Ask yourself, what do I truly want? Not what the world expects of you, not what others will applaud, but what burns inside your own soul. Until you answer this with honesty, you cannot begin the climb toward freedom. Every man who reached greatness began first with clarity of vision. Abraham Lincoln, born in a log cabin with no wealth, no connections, and almost no formal education, carried within him a vision of a nation united. He endured ridicule, defeat, personal tragedy, and years of obscurity, yet his vision never dimmed. And when history came calling, he was ready. Henry Ford envisioned a car for the common man at a time when automobiles were toys for the rich. He did not ask, "What is possible?" He declared, "I will make it possible." Vision is the lighthouse in the storm. It is what steadies you when the winds of doubt howl and the waves of adversity crash against you. Without vision, the storm will swallow you. With vision, you can endure any storm, for you know where you are going. But vision alone is not enough. The road to greatness is a battlefield, and it demands resilience. Life will test you. It will push you to your knees. It will strip you of comfort, betray your trust, and laugh at your plans. Most men stay down when life knocks them down, but not the resilient. The resilient rise again, not because they are unhurt, but because their will is stronger than their wounds. Thomas Edison did not fail 100 times before inventing the light bulb. He discovered 100 ways that did not work. Each setback was not defeat, but refinement. His resilience turned failure into fuel, and because of it, the world lives in light. Resilience is forged in fire. It is not given, it is earned. Every setback you face, every rejection you endure, every hardship you survive is the training ground of greatness. And if you can embrace that, if you can see failure not as the end but as the sharpening of your edge, nothing can stop you. Yet resilience without faith is incomplete. For there will be moments when no evidence exists to assure you of victory. There will be nights when every sign points to failure, when your vision seems impossible, when your strength feels gone. In these moments, logic will not carry you forward, only faith will. Faith is the unseen power that Napoleon Hill called the eternal elixir. It transforms thoughts into reality. It is the hand that turns a vision into fact. Faith whispers in your ear when the world screams in doubt, "Keep going. It is already yours." Faith is what led Martin Luther King Jr. to declare, "I have a dream," when every visible fact pointed to the impossibility of that dream. Faith is what kept Steve Jobs pressing forward after being fired from the very company he founded, only to return and reshape the world of technology. Faith is what compels you to act boldly even when the path ahead is hidden in shadow. But faith is not blind hope. It is disciplined belief. It is forged by affirmations repeated daily, by mental pictures held so vividly that they feel more real than the present. It is built by acting as if your victory is inevitable, because the moment you truly believe, the universe begins rearranging itself to match your belief. When you combine clarity of vision, resilience in hardship, and faith in the unseen, you become unstoppable. You become the kind of person who bends reality to his will, the kind of person history remembers. Do not mistake this path for comfort. Greatness is not comfort. Greatness is sacrifice, struggle, and sweat. Greatness demands that you trade excuses for execution, distractions for discipline, comfort for courage. But remember this, the price of greatness may be high, but the price of regret is far higher. The man who refuses to pay the price of discipline will one day pay the price of disappointment. He will lie in the silence of his own wasted potential, haunted by the question, "What could I have become if only I had dared?" And you listening now, must decide which price you will pay. Will you pay the price of discipline today, or the price of regret tomorrow? Will you rise to claim your freedom, or will you surrender it for comfort? The formula is clear. Think rich. Act bold. Live free. Not someday. Not when the stars align. Not when circumstances are perfect. But now. Because the moment you take the first bold step, something extraordinary begins to happen. Life shifts. Doors appear where there were once walls. Allies arrive you never expected. And slowly, steadily, what was once only a vision in your mind becomes the reality of your life.